special night for the cooperative as we take a break from walking down the road to take stock of where we are and to say thanks to the many individuals and organizations who have given us their tremendous support over the past 12 months. Our shareholders, our suppliers, our financiers, and fellow organizations within the cooperative movement. Not forgetting, of course, our hard-working employees and our customers. And tonight, while we are well aware that in some cases we may have fallen short of expectations, we want to focus on our successes, and we invite you to celebrate with us and perhaps to begin celebrating your individual achievements over the past year. For many of us, this is our first Christmas function for the season, and the Finance Building Cooperative Society has maintained this tradition over the years on the first Wednesday of December. Here at the Terrace, we hope you will not allow yourselves to be influenced unduly by the surroundings and spend your entire night focusing on the budget. But perhaps, even in the budget, there is a message for us, an invitation to participate, to partake of the sumptuous dinner which we have prepared for you, to participate in paying tribute to the many persons who we have found deserving of awards, and perhaps to participate fully later on when the music for dancing begins. But first, we must acknowledge the presence of the one who has given us all the gifts that we can boast of today. I now invite Mrs. Myrna Hoyt, the Vice President of the Cooperative, to lead us in prayer. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some slight changes to make in the program. We know we have listed as a second item, welcome and introductions. And I am yielding to the request of some of our guests, and we'll save the welcome and introductions for later on. We'd invite you to have your dinner now. Introduce members of the board of the Finance Building Cooperative Society. Mr. Louis Nurse, our president. Mrs. Myrna Hoyt, our vice president. Ms. Luan Atwell, our secretary. Mr. Anthony Bartholomew, member. And Mr. Michael Batiste, member. By the way, I'm also a member of the board. My name is Gloria Rolingson. I would also like to welcome the Honorable Minister of Finance, Minister Wendell Motley. The Honorable Minister responsible for public administration, Minister Gordon Draper, the Auditor General, Mrs. Jocelyn Thompson, all the big boys here tonight, the Commissioner of Inland Revenue, Mr. Kong, Ms. Angela Hackshaw, Commissioner of Inland Revenue, the Comptroller of Accounts, Mr. Henry, the Transport Commissioner and his tax, Mr. Augustus James, we also have present the former Commissioner of Valuations, Mr. Gladstone Slater, the new boss of TTT, Mr. Louis Lee Singh, and my boss, Mr. Hamid O'Brien, Director, Monetary, Fiscal and Trade. I had to do that. We have a very special guest here. Some of you may have heard that there was a Miss Big and Beautiful contest recently, and the Finance Building Cooperative did sponsor one of the contestants, and she was a runner-up. Miss Big and Beautiful of the Finance Building, Miss Deborah Wilson. Yes, I cannot forget the Director of Town and Country Planning, Ms. Victoria Mendez Charles, and her husband, Director of Surveys, Mr. Charles. Welcome, everyone. I hope I didn't leave out anybody. Yes, we move now on to the short program of entertainment which we have planned for you. So I just ask you to relax and enjoy the entertainment.
What Sarant, we both work in the financial complex. In keeping with the spirit of Christmas, I'm going to sing for you, O Holy Night.
O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Full oh night divine, led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. So led by light of a star sweetly beaming, there came three wise men from Orient land. The King of Kings, thus lay in lowly manger, in all our trials, born to be our friend. He knows our needs, our weaknesses, no stranger. Behold your King, before him lowly bend. Behold your King, before him lowly
On the lighter side, I'm going to...
En la noche buena, dulce resplendor, es la gran estrella de nuestro Señor. En la noche buena, dulce resplendor, es la gran estrella de nuestro Señor. Alegría, alegría, que nació el Señor para salvar al hombre, es su redentor. En Belén de Judá, la Virgen María, que nació el niño, es una heresía, la Virgen María. Y el Santo José son los padres buenos de ese niño rey. La Virgen María y el Santo José son los padres buenos de ese niño rey. Alegría que nació el Señor para salvar al hombre, es su redentor. En Belén de Judá, la Virgen María, que nació el niño, que es redimía. Si el gavilán se comerá, ay, se comerá como se come el ganado. Si el gavilán se comerá, ay, se comerá como se come el ganado. Yo me hubiera comido gavilán el colorado. Gavilán pío pío, gavilán chao chao. Gavilán pío pío, gavilán chao chao. En las barrancas de Apure, ay de Apure suspiraba en gavilán. En las barrancas de Apure, ay de Apure suspiraba en gavilán. En el suspiro decía muchachos de Camaguán, gavilán pío pío, gavilán chao chao. Gavilán pío pío, gavilán chao chao. Bendita tú eres, Excelsior María, bendita tú eres, Excelsior María, por haber parido nuestro gran Mesías. por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías. Bendita tú eres, excelsior María, bendita tú eres, excelsior María, por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías, por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías. El santo ángel Gabriel a María la anunció, el santo ángel Gabriel a María la anunció, que por el paso de Dios concebría un hijo, que por el paso de Dios concebría un hijo. Bendita tú eres, excelsior María, bendita tú eres, excelsior María, por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías, por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías. Bendita tú eres, excelsior María, bendita tú eres, excelsior María, por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías, por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías. Bendita tú eres, excelsior María, bendita tú eres, excelsior María, por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías, por haber brido nuestro gran Mesías. Thank you.
As we celebrate the reason why we observe this date, we have all sinned and have fallen short. So as a rescue, the child was brought as our savior, so we could all live forevermore. Well, with your permit and kind attention, let me describe the Annunciation. Well, Angel Gabriel was the ambassador, and he was God's messenger. Virgin Mary, Gabriel said to her, you got to give birth to the Savior. From heaven I came to bring to you this mystery. Well, Mary listened very meek and mild, and in time she was great with child, and in a manger without any fuss, the Virgin Mary gave birth to the infant Jesus. Well, I think for 3 days a bright star was seen by some shepherds tending their pastures green, shining bright and high. I think it led the 3 famous magi. Well, Herod, he got so filled with rage. I tell you, the man got on like if he was in a cage. And so with a fit of passion and without no reason, he come out to think he wanted to commit treason. But nevertheless, he gave us some kind of declaration for all its male-born children. When I tell you the man was so dread, I think he really decided to cut off all of them head. Well, here, the child grew up in wisdom and stature, performing miracles all over, preaching the gospel of love, not hate. And in time, I think he would die for it. He was accused and nailed to the cross. His mother Mary, she mourned her loss. But I think for 3 days, he died and he rose again. And then he ascended into heaven. And hear this line, I have to make up this last line, where he is now the mediator between God and man. Right. Lovers of the culture. So you got to know to tell people about the culture when we sing about wheating, right? What I did just now, I'll put it in song. To stand up here and to sing just so, it is an art we call extempo. Them calypsonians of long ago would thrill the audience from head to toe. They chose a topic and called a key, and they sang extemporaneously with becoming song till one of them win the crown. Response? Right. Well, let me take you down memory lane. Long ago, tents we'll be visiting, built of bamboo, lovely lace curtains, with coconut palms for the roofing. The seats were benches made of bamboo, and lamps were large bottles called flambeaux. Such a light giving, soft glow to the surroundings. Well, the calypso tents and them of long ago were built from donations, you should know. Prominent people in the city like the Cisco Palani give a lot of money. That's really. Well, there was no stipulated pricing. I think you could have paid 6 cents for a shilling. You had no horrors paying what you could afford. Well, there is a lot of contradiction of how the name Calypso was born. It has been given many titles, having evolved through many cycles. Was never sung in English before. I think them slave and them used to sing something called patois. But with abolition came the English rendition. Well, Shantwell was the name of the singer, and you had some big women like Rolingson and them in the background for the choir. When you hear them Shantwell and them sang out the refrain, Rolingson and them in the background will take up the refrain again. Well, for music they had clarinet, flute and bass, violin, guitar, quattro, boy you talk about mass. And then they call for war, picking in till 10 over. Now this is not extempo, it is the deceased Growling Tiger, and there's a thing with the extempo and the picong. One man would say, when I get up in the morning and I watch the sky, sometime I just wonder why. Or when I get up in the morning and I watch the sky, sometime I just wonder why. If it's my planet to sign men destination or to put them Calypsonians, to me the destruction is the sorrow and affliction of this Irie land. And the other fella had to reply, so he had to come up and say something like, who are you? Who have been your teacher? Who are you to come on the stage and tackle me? Remind the people here from far and there something nice they would like to hear. Telling the people in the cooperative society they having a dinner here to see you only come to drink a certain complexion. But it not be damn thing. What you about? You're telling me you see when the fella, the mum, the family, you only me your vocabulary. But the man used to sing what's the nonsense you see. And then you see if the man didn't know what he's singing. The fella used to sing one pile of S-H-I-T. Well, I'll go into my favorite calypso, Carol. I like the bottle and spoon. One Christmas Eve, casually I was walking down the street. I say one Christmas Eve, casually I was walking down the street. I was attracted by the sound of a little boy as he held his mother's hand, telling her his plans. What you think the conversation could be? He was saying, listen, mommy, I want you to tell Santa Claus to bring a concert and a what? Concertina? Mommy, tell Mr. Santa I'm so lonely, 'cause there's no children nearby me. Ma, you don't know how happy your son will be. Well, she looked at him very sad as the water filled her eyes, to realize that she hadn't an answer for his cries. She was so worried, yes, so worried and so confused. As they walked along the street, no shoes on his feet. While they strolled, he continued to repeat. He was saying, listen, mama, I want you to tell Santa Claus to bring a trumpet and a concertina for me. Mommy, tell Mr. Santa I'm so lonely, but there's no children nearby me. Ma, you don't know how happy your son will be. Well, I approached her and promised to give a helping hand. She said to me, Mr. Man, you can do the best you can. I gave her money and asked her, miss, where you live. And so that night at 12 o'clock, I brought a lovely box. The next day, she was so merry and gay. When she heard, listen, mama, I want you to thank Santa Claus for the concertina and the trumpet he brought for me. Mommy, thank Mr. Santa, I'm so happy. I have no time to take some tea. Oh, what a nice Godfather he is to me. Mommy, oh, what a nice Godfather he is to. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. A Merry, Merry Christmas and a bright and prosperous New Year. Everybody.
Please.
The boy waiting, he waiting. How did they? Anyway, the little boy come back again. Hello! He said, son, yes? Didn't I ask you to put your sister on the phone? Yes. And what is taking you so long? I can't. Anyway, at this juncture, I would like to introduce our president, Mr. Rolingson.
First, I'd like to say welcome. I want everybody to relax. Because when we come to this event, it has become an event. We come to relax. We're not coming to bring our officers with us. So for a few minutes, let's forget what we are, and let's talk about who we are. And tonight, we are all members, friends, patrons, suppliers, and generally supporters of the Finance Building Cooperative Society. Welcome, friends. And to put our event in perspective, let me give you a short history of what our corp is about, especially for our new initiated people who've come here tonight. The Finance Cooperative was started in 1986. There was a choice between establishing this beautiful facility and having a concessionaire operate it, or some wise person decided, let the employees have it. And what you see here tonight is a demonstration of what a partnership between the government of Trinidad and Tobago, our corporation Soul, who is vested in the Minister of Finance, and we say welcome, Minister of Finance, and the public servants, the people who work in this building, the people who struggle every day to ensure that service is presented to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And the wise people that established that vision in '86 didn't do it without some measure of concern, because the real question was, could they make it work? Could a cooperative made up of people who did not have the synergy and the experience of being restaurateurs provide a service that can last? After 8 years, and this event tonight, I think the Corp has proved itself. And what we will do tonight, let's account. You know the word account, these days everybody talking about account and accountability. This is my chance to account for a performance over the last year, since we met a year ago. And I just want to give you an idea of what the minister talks about growth. And I like when he talks about growth, because tonight I can show you growth. And I could give you some numbers. In 1991, our gross sales, it's a people business, so I can tell you, was 550,000. In 1992, December, we were able, by providing what we describe as service, and if you look across there, you would see our motto, which is service first. We were able to change that number to $783,000. Think about that. Do a percentage. Over $200,000 between 2 years, and the numbers are climbing. And the reason why that is happening is because you have two things. You have the people that we honor tonight, our dedicated stakeholders, and most importantly, our committed staff. And you have a management team that has worked blood, sweat, and tears, sometimes, most of the time, without remuneration, to build and to fulfill the mission that was established by the wise people in 1986. And I'd like to give some credit to our board of directors and our shareholders and our staff tonight. So, our success story. You see, the thing is the bad news in the papers. Our minister has presented his budget, and what it means to a co-op like ours is that things are going to go up. Prices are going to go up. As a matter of fact, the price of beef, for sure, is going to go up. And during the year, the price of chicken went up. But we have made a commitment to our people in the building that we would attempt to provide, as far as possible, well-balanced and well-priced meals. And those of us who share our meals every day would know our prices are better than the breakfast shed, but our facilities are better. So we have been able to provide you with a low-cost meal in a high-priced environment. That is not an easy thing to do, because for this institution to continue to provide you with service, it must run profitably. This is not a gimme, giveaway. This is a matter of getting good service, good value for money. Government benefits, because when we provide services to government, even though some people claim that we don't pay rent, which we don't do, but in not giving us the facilities, government benefits by getting the best prices for the services that we can provide. And the various ministries and statutory bodies who have been clients of ours and who continue to come back, and we're very grateful, because of the service we provide, can attest to the fact that they're getting good prices for good service. So tonight we're talking about our core. In our management for 1994, besides just the commitment I talked about before, we are saying that in order to meet the requirements of service, we need to train. So in 1994, what our co-op is hoping to do is to train from board down, because we feel that training is the way in which capability is built, and with capability, you have profitability. We are also looking at some other areas. Our cooperative, through your president, has got involved in a new committee. And this new committee, which will be launched later on this month, is called the Cooperative Tourism Body. We listen to government when government says that tourism is tomorrow. Therefore, what have we done? We have got together with a committee of 7. We have called together 16 cooperatives to be part of that committee to represent. And those 16 cooperatives, under the umbrella of the CTB, would be the umbrella body like NATOC. You know, we talk about NATOC. This is the body that's going to be pushing forward to bring the cooperative movement, not just the finance bill and cooperative society, but the cooperative movement is going to be thoroughly involved in the tourism trust of government. And in doing that, let me give you an example how, in terms of that body, how it's going to benefit you as our shareholders and you as our patrons when we are able to maintain the kind of price levels that we want to keep for our patrons in 1994. The president of the taxi drivers, the airport taxi drivers, is on the committee. And the airport taxi drivers have a tour which operates in Port of Spain. And this tour involves the Magnificent Seven. So they are bringing tourists from the hotels and from the various points where they come, and they bring them into Port of Spain. Now the tourist usually says, I want to eat local food. As a result, they will carry them to the breakfast shed. What has been happening is the tourist enjoys the meal at the breakfast shed, but is not very enthused about the kind of environment in which he has to eat. So what do? The taxi drivers would bring their people into Port of Spain and show them our beautiful Twin Towers and soon the beautiful gardens and things that are being set up outside. It means that we are living in the best part of Port of Spain. They're going to park at the Niptec car park, and they're going to bring their people here for lunch. When they bring their people here for lunch, patrons, what you might find on some days, you might see a show of limbo dance and other things that will be put on for these tourist groups that are being brought to the finance building. Try to imagine that. Foreign exchange being earned right here on this third floor by we being able, you know? So this is the kind of vision that the proactive management that's operating this business is focusing on. And this is where we need your support. We need your support because the difficulty in this time is that people like to bad talk and bad tongue. And this business has suffered in some ways, and some of the members have suffered because of that negativity. We are saying that that negativity is part of our culture, maybe, but it's not part of the culture when you come to the third floor. We want you to write us and tell us what you're asking for. For example, tonight, you may realize, those who have come here before, that we have extended our facilities to the patio. We have done that for two reasons. We have done that because people said last year, hey, I couldn't get a seat. And we have done that to show you the difference in the kind of service that our institution can provide. We're not just catering for 100. We're catering tonight for over 300. That's the kind of standard that we are able to transmit. So we need your support because within the system, people tend to go outside. At budget night, we have our budget, and the ministry spends a lot of money providing meals. And the culture is, let me get a pizza so I can put it in my pocket and walk out the door. And the corp is saying, as much as we don't mind you taking your pizza away, spend the money here and take a fresh meal at 6:30. We want our people to respect our organization. Judge us not on any emotional value, but judge us on the service that we can provide for you. Why? Because not only are you the owner, remember that word, we buy shares in things and we lose it. You have bought shares in this, and for 8 years you have it, and you have dividends to get. What can you ask more than that? Let us look at some of the benefits that I feel that our members and patrons would enjoy in 1994. For example, I want to propose to our shareholders and patrons tonight a parking benefit. You can no longer park around the building. Some of us have experienced why. Independence Square is no longer a place to park, and many of us park on the port. The Finance Cooperative has just been able to negotiate an arrangement with our NIP deck counterparts to give you a parking spot right next door for $115 a month. The real price is $150. So I can invite you tonight to understand that being involved in the cooperative, you don't have to be a member, you just have to be a patron, can allow you to have your parking for $115. We have been able to get a discount on parking for short stays. So people like Nehus, who would like to have a function, instead of paying $15 for the day, could get the Finance Corp discount, which is $10. If you want to talk percentages, you can see you're getting a discount of 10, 5, over 25%. We also want to offer our patrons in the new year more events. The Finance Corp has stood behind culture for 1993. Some of us have been here to enjoy Joey Lewis in our suits and have a good time. We've had a series of events because we are pushing service to the environment. What we have found, for us to be able to maintain secure and stable and low prices to our people within the building, we need to go out and bring in business under our catering department. And the catering department in 1992 represented 70% of the income of the cooperative. Because out there, we can compete, and we have been competing very successfully with all the other restaurants and hotels. So, as I said, my role tonight is to just remind our stakeholders of our mission. And our mission in 1994 is to make a profit, is to continue to make a profit. Our mission in 1994 is to continue to provide service. And for us to provide service, this is where I change my focus. We need to keep our staff together. And we have had some staff, those of you who have been here a lot would know them. You have people like Mr. Sean Dick, who has been working here since 1988. Mr. Curtis Berkeley since 1988. Ms. Yvonne Simmers since 1986. Ms. Sharon Smith since 1990. So what we have been able to maintain is a stable staff who can continue to learn. Turn this down. Who can continue to learn how to serve. And when I say learn how to serve, a brother like Mr. Fabian will go to the counter and say, Yvonne, the usual. And she provides. There are people on the 20th floor who say, I just talked to Curtis. I don't have to talk to you. He knows what we want. So the growth that we're talking about in cooperatives is working through people and giving the people a chance to tell you what they want and give them what they want. And when we talk about public service reform, I want to just emphasize that this is a public service environment. The people here who perform tonight are all public servants. The people that sang are public servants. The people who own the business are public servants. The music, Mr. Superchin, is a public servant. So we have kept our business in-house. And I take this opportunity to tell you that in response to the 1994 budget, the Board of Directors of the Finance Building Cooperative Society has decided to give its staff, each member, increases of salary going from 17 to 33%. How do you like? Okay, so now I've made the point I wanted to make. This is where I continue to focus on my staff. And when I say my, I mean my in the finance corp sense. And we would start to do our awards section of the program. I will ask the Vice President, Mrs. Hoy, to give me an assistance while I announce to you the people who have performed, the people who have served, and the people who have supported us in being able to bring to you, our shareholders and stakeholders, a profit, and to you, ladies and gentlemen, service. First, we will start with our Customer Service Award. Just bring the award. Now you know that how important customer service is. Customer service to the Finance Building Cooperative Society philosophy means the difference between success and bust. And tonight, I'm sure those of you who eat here every day would share with me pride and joy when we ask Ms. Yvonne Simmons to accept our Customer Service Award for 1993. And I know he's not prepared for this, But I'd like to ask our Minister of Public Administration, Senator Gordon Draper, please, sir, if you can present to this lady, because customer service, I know it's dear to your heart. If you can present to Yvonne her award. What happened? Good man. Yes. And Yvonne is not only beautiful, she's wonderful. Our next employee on whom we feel we owe a lot of thanks. A young man who has been working, as I said, since 1988. He's been trying his best. He started in our company as a handyman, doing what was necessary to be done, being arms and legs, and eventually he demonstrated that he had a brain. And in keeping with our philosophy of not only supporting people that want to grow, but giving people what is necessary for them to grow, he has been able to move to become assistant cook. And don't be surprised if one day you find out that he might be the chef downstairs. He has learned service, he's run our bars, he has made sure that this place, we have had many fetes, as you all would know, many functions in the night, and people come to work next day and are unaware that something happened last night. That's because Mr. Curtis Berkeley, our Employee of the Year, did his job. Who I can ask? Our Employee of the Year. I would like to ask Mrs. Henry, if she can present. No, this Mrs. Henry, the closest Mrs. Henry. If she can present to Mr. Berkeley, his Employee of the Year, for the second time. After next year, we have to take his name off. Yes, Curtis, thank you. And we're continuing. As I said before, because of our choices of people and their commitment to what we believe in, providing service for you every day. As you notice, our staff don't change very often. Whenever there's a change, there's always a change for the better. And tonight, we'd like to give a 5-year long service award to a gentleman who works quite unassumingly and who's under a lot of pressure half the time because people want everything done and they expect him to do it. A gentleman who has moved from handyman and today goes in the market and goes everywhere and provides all the utilities either by purchasing them directly or renting them from where it is necessary. He knows where to get everything that we need in this business. I'm referring to Mr. Sean Dick. I will ask the next Mrs. Henry, the wife of the Comptroller of Accounts, if she can please present to Sean his award. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Henry. Thank you, Sean. We are focused on the staff, and we have all experienced their contribution. But there's another side to the story. Somebody got to direct them, somebody got to organize them, somebody has to inspire them, somebody has to, when necessary, deal with them. And we have a hard-working member of our board. You can't miss her. You just can't. But a lady who has not only inspired our staff to work, but in some ways has inspired me to continue to work. Because this is a hard job. This is a 24-hour job. And this lady, like myself, takes her extra time, the time that she can spend doing other, what I would best describe as interesting things. And spend that time, spend those thoughts, and spend the hours that is necessary to maintain the success story which I had previously described. You saw her tonight, you listened to her, and enjoyed her joke. Tonight, I would like to recognize and say thank you to Mrs. Gloria Rolingson, our worthy treasurer. And I will ask Mr. Draper again, please. You're working. If you can present to the Assistant Director, Monetary, Fiscal and Trade, and our treasurer, and a very lovely and warm person, this plaque of appreciation. Oh, you know, the thing about this function that I like, this is our function. This is we thing. You know, this is not nobody coming from nowhere, no imported nothing. This is not foreign management. This is no foreign investor. This is real local thing. This is our thing. Feel proud, folks. Give me a round of applause, man. We need that. Now, we're continuing. We have something for the staff. And we're giving our staff two things and letting you know what I'm giving them. They don't know what they will know now. We're going to ask our staff to come to collect their bonus. Is there a bonus? I hope the Ministry of Finance is still here. And their letters that would confirm to them that the increase in salary, which I had mentioned before, is a reality. And I'm going to ask a hard-working board member, Mr. Michael Batiste, to come and assist me in presenting to the staff their bonus letters. And I'm going to start with our newest member of staff. Those of you who come down here would see her sitting in the corner, doing her best under difficult circumstances, trying, she's learning, she's young. I wouldn't tell you how young. But when you see her, you can judge how young she is. And I'm talking about our worthy assistant office person. No, wait. Corey Nelson. Corey. I have to give it two. Look at her, folks, because this is your chance to see our staff. Now, what do you all think of the choice of staff? Corinne is our secretary, office assistant. When?
Samuel, check him with it.
Yeah, tell him to come upstairs. I can't go downstairs.
Go tell him to check him downstairs. Beverly Samuel.
Beverly Samuel, your brother is waiting for you downstairs. That's just a message that has been sent to me. The next person I want to reintroduce is Mr. Curtis Berkeley. Mr. Berkeley, please come and collect your bonus. You deserve it. Then we have, one of the tenants of our catering department, especially for meetings, is our pastries. People always say to me they want tea, coffee, and juice, yes, and they want some kind of snack, sweet, sour, or whatever. Tonight, let me introduce the lady who makes those snacks. So if you have anything to say, you can say to her. Miss Sharon Smith. Beautiful. I hope you're looking at the quality of staff we have, Where's what a beautiful outfit she's wearing? Then, of course, I can't forget our champion in customer service, Miss Yvonne Simmons. Miss Yvonne is the employee, our first employee. She started with the co-op, she's still with the co-op, and I hope she will last a long time with our co-op. The next person I want to introduce is Mr. Sean Dick. Sean, come and collect your bonus. As I said, you deserve it. You've been working. Now, there's one person who's here tonight, and I'm very happy that he's here tonight, because he has served for 5 years, he's labored under a lot of pressure, and has been a strong pillar in bringing this company to what it now is. He's no longer with us because greener pastures have called him. In this business, that's how it is. You take your time, you work with them, and then somebody passes and buys them over. But those of you who are here a lot would know him, and I take this opportunity to introduce Mr. Victor Ordain, our chef.
Yeah. So let's get our appreciation. Yeah.
I would like to present to Mr. Ordain a fond thank you and a certificate of appreciation for his contribution to our service. Thank you, Mr. Ordain. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Michael. I would like to ask our worthy secretary, Ms. Luan Atwell, to help me in this next segment of our awards. All the nice things we talk about couldn't happen if the patrons didn't come. And we have had patrons who have lived here, ate here, through thick and thin, who have pulled me aside and have told me what they think that's negative about our service, and who have continued to buy so they can know when I have responded to their call. And these are people, we can't pick everybody, but I tried to pick 5 people who I feel have contributed, and I'm telling my shareholders this, to the profit that they will be discussing with us early in 1994. Mr. Fabian. Mr. Fabian, it's a small way of us saying thanks for your contribution. By the way, when you all coming in, you would see a little sign that says Luminous for Spirituous Liquors. It's deliberate. The first institution to get a bar license, thank you, Ms. Wilshire, for a government building is the Finance Building Cooperative Society. And that's thank you to Ms. Wilshire and Mr. Fabian, Town Country Planning. These are people that have vision. And I've said Ms. Wilshire twice, but I hope she's still here, because we have something for Ms. Wilshire. Is she still here? Ms. Wilshire, please come. Ms. Joy Wilshire. Ms. Joy Wilshire, ladies and gentlemen, we call her sometimes the mother of the co-op, because she is one of the people who had one of the wise men in 1986 that has been able to vest this business and fight for the equipment and things that we now enjoy today. But besides that, she comes here every day and has her lunch.
As a result of that, Ms. Wilshire, your commitment to our service, we'd like to present you with a small token of appreciation. Huh? Get a picture, Ms. Wilshire. There are some other people. Those of you who saw the Ministry of Information lifestyle video, and if Mr. Brave Boy is here tonight, I'd like to publicly say thank you again. You would have seen a gentleman give a testimony as to the quality of food that is being presented. If he's here tonight, Mr. Leslie Charles, please join me. Mr. Leslie Charles, I'm on it. Thank you, Mr. Charles, for your patronage. Thank you. There are two other people that we have identified. There's a gentleman that is a senior, that's a director. He works very assiduously with his computer. Mr. Kamal Mankey. Mr. Mankey, is he still here? I thought I saw Mr. Mankey here. Okay. But we'd like to say thank you for Mr. Mankey, and he will get his envelope tomorrow. The next person we want to identify is from the next building. And I say next twice, because people think Twin Towers. So they think about next, and don't know the mail, where the mail is supposed to go, don't know who working where. But the people from the other side do support our institution. The Prime Minister's office is one group of people that we not only respect and appreciate, but tonight we'd like to recognize one member of that team, Miss Yolan Gooding. Okay. Don't forget, come. Charming lady. Thank you very much, Yolan. Get a picture. Are we going to continue very quickly, because this is a function that the DJ is waiting. We're hoping that we will wait a line and enjoy the 2 bars that we have provided for you tonight. Notice it wasn't 1, it was 2. Because the price of alcohol went up, so I figure economies of scale, I will spend less money. Anyway, I'd like to recognize and say thank you and give a certificate of appreciation on behalf of our cooperative society to our godfather. He came in tonight, I saw him outside, say, "You're coming to the function?" He said, "Well, we're going to organize to come back." The man who called this place the Terrace, the man who won the competition to name the place, our godfather from the next tower, Mr. Earl Nesbitt. And I would like to ask Mr. Anthony Bartholomew, another hard-working member. You're looking for kisses? Oh gosh. Boy, I deliberately do that, you know, I know you. Thank you very much, Earl. Another thing that people ask for all the time, every time they eat, people talk about dessert. And when you talk about dessert, normally, what do you say? Ice cream. Now, we have a supplier of ice cream, a man that supplies high quality, good taste, long-lasting quality in terms of shelf life, ice cream. The man from Shamal, who comes here and tries his best and provides, and under difficult circumstances, sometimes with short notice. We'd like to say thank you to Mr. Wendell Stevens. I'd like to ask Mrs. John Myers if she can present to Mr. Wendell Stevens his certificate of appreciation. Come. Not you, this is okay. Thank you, Dad. There are two more people I'd like to recognize tonight. And one lady, this is a lady. And as I was saying before, the Finance Building Cooperative Society, as part of its philosophy of growth, stands behind culture. And not just culture in the broad sense, but the culture of the finance building. And in the finance building, we have a lot of beautiful people. Just look around you and you can see that. Ladies, beautifully dressed tonight. But we just don't have beautiful people. We have big, beautiful people. And I'd like to give an appreciation and award and to say a heartfelt thank you to Ms. Debbie Wilson, our finance building, big, beautiful person. And let me ask Mr. Earl Nesbitt. I'm asking Mr. Earl Nesbitt if he would present to Debbie. And ladies and gentlemen, before Earl does what he has to do, and I know you're anxious, don't you think that full-figured women are beautiful? There's one more person who every day I have an opportunity to chat with, interface with, and a lady that I have grown to respect and love for the kind of service that she provides. This lady is responsible for cleaning. Now we tend sometimes not to respect what cleaners do. But in this building, with the laws that we have to work with in terms of our hygiene laws and the standards that you, the patron, have demanded from us, we need a group of people who can clean and maintain this building. And the MTS, who have been doing a wonderful job in other areas of this building. But we would like to thank MTS and say a special thank you tonight to the lady who is responsible for keeping this place clean and tidy every day. Marilyn, please. That's the lady. Come and join me. Yeah, bueno, follow no. I'll ask Mr. Frank Dolly, my good friend. I'm being frank about that. If he can present to Marilyn our certificate of appreciation, and again, thank you, Marilyn. Oh, good. Well, folks, I think we've come into the end of this part of the ceremony, but I couldn't do that without introducing, I told you before that Mr. Victor Ordain, our worthy chef, has gone on to greener pastures. But like in every relay, there's another person to carry the baton. And tonight, you all have ate a wonderful meal. Am I right? Well, that is the kind of quality that we can guarantee you every day. I also want you to recognize that since our permanent staff that you all know are all sitting and having a good time, if you look around you, you would see that the Finance Building Cooperative Society is not just contributing to the economy by providing dividends and service, we are also providing employment, and we have at least 10 new staff operating here tonight. Finance Corp provides. So let me introduce our new queen in the kitchen. Carol. Miss Calise. Miss Carol Calise. It is called She Sweet Hand. The newspapers, the Newsday, they were very bright. They came and got it early. The good news that's happening on the 3rd floor. I'd like to introduce her to you and ask Mr. Michael Batiste to give Carol something that I know she'll be very happy to receive. Ladies and gentlemen, Carol Calise. Look at her good, because she doesn't only look as wonderful as she's looking tonight, but she hands sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. Well, that's the end of my part of it. I hope that in our little function, you have been able to recognize that the Finance Cooperative Society believes that the human resources is the most important resource. We don't retrench, we don't remove, we simply develop and promote. And I would like to turn the podium over to our worthy Vice President, Mrs. Hoyt.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Directors and the members of the staff of the cafeteria, I wish to make a presentation to Mrs. Gloria Rolingson for all the hard work she has done in the cafeteria during the years. I now call on Ms. Corey Nelson to make the presentation to Mrs. Rolingson. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Directors and the staff of the cafeteria, I wish to make a presentation to Mr. Louis Nurse in acknowledgement of all the hard work he has done for the cafeteria. I now call on Ms. Luan Atwell to make the presentation.
Thank you very much. That's it?
I now call on Mr. Anthony Bartholomew, a member of our board, to make a special presentation.
Honorable Minister, fellow board members, ladies and gentlemen, even though I've been called upon to make a presentation, I want to crave your indulgence for just one moment to make a wish. And that wish is that tonight could be unending, in the sense that early on, I was given the enviable task of welcoming all you wonderful people in our midst here tonight. And that involved kissing all you beautiful ladies who grace us with your presence. And I'm now being called upon to present a token of the board's appreciation to one of the beautiful women or ladies in our midst, Mrs. Nurse. But I'm sure before I make this presentation, even though the board has invited me solely to make a presentation to Mrs. Nurse, that they would have no problem in me moving a really round of applause to all you beautiful women and men in the audience. A round of applause to the beautiful audience. In making this presentation, I'm sure I echo the sentiments of the board and certainly of our customers that Mrs. Nurse would continue in 1994 to give Louis the kind of support which has undoubtedly contributed to him being the bedrock of this institution. It is our hope, and I'm sure it's the hope of all of us here. So, without further ado, and I'll embrace the opportunity to steal another kiss, I hope Louis don't mind. Okay, thank you.
Some people live dangerously, don't you all think? Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew. Well, folks, we're coming to the end of our award ceremony, but I need to show some appreciation to the rest of the ladies, and Anthony has introduced the female segment so lovely, in such a lovely and warm fashion. We have a bouquet of flowers, and these bouquets are a token of appreciation, because remember, this business is a business that calls for blood, sweat, and tears, and the kind of things that we can't pay for. So I will ask Ms. Luana Atuelo, our worthy secretary, please, to join me at the podium and ask Mr. Michael Batiste to present her with a bouquet of flowers as a token of our appreciation for our heartfelt work. One. Who else? And not only members of the board, thank you. We also have, you see, there are different reasons why we say that we appreciate people. And there's a lady from the 7th floor who I have a chance occasionally to say hello to, and who always gives me a little word of advice and a little encouragement. And I really appreciate that, and I want to let her know that that encouragement, those little words of advice, has helped to contribute to the standard of business that we have today. I'd like to ask Mrs. Mitchell. Mrs. Mitchell, please, if you would join me at the podium, and I'm going to ask Mr. Anthony Bartholomew and watch him to present you with a bouquet, a way of saying thank you. You see, folks, I want you to keep reminding you, this is our business. We have one more. One more. Then we cannot forget the lady who's second in command, the lady she told me tonight, she said, listen, man, I'm really your support, you know. Our worthy Vice President, Mrs. Myrna Hoyt. Notice she's the lady in red, next to the lady in red.
I'd like to ask Mr. John Myers if he would present to our worthy Vice President a bouquet of flowers. Mr. John Myers is the editor of The Guardian, folks. Newspaper. I can't leave you, John. Any more? Gloria, we have one more? Good. Thank you, John. Well, there's one more presentation before we close the evening and we open the bars and we continue to lime as long as you want. I want you to remember this is your party. We have to go to work early in the morning, but it's never too late to enjoy yourself, because I have seen some people work so hard. Friday night they're working, Saturday they're in the office, Sunday they're in the office, and Monday they're quarreling because they're still in the office. That don't pay in the Finance Corp book. I'd like to ask Mr. Louis Lee Singh. Is he still here? No? Louis gone because he have to be on TTT. Well then, Mr. Ken Henry, our Comptroller of Accounts, a man who comes here regularly, enjoys our facilities, and always has a good word to say to Yvonne. To present to Yvonne Simmons, she has won the Customer Relations Award, but tonight she's still our oldest employee. And even though there's not a long service award for her this time, she's the longest serving. Thank you. You see, that man have quality. Mr. Henry, please. Gloria. Present our last bouquet. Thank you, brother. Get a picture, get a picture. Woo! Well, folks, those of you who have been here for the first time, we say, nice to have you. And I'm hoping that want to keep you in mind that the cooperative is your business. It's not my business. I am just your representative, your president, and your chief executive officer, the person that does all the hard work. But the business is based on one philosophy that pervades everything that we do: our love for each other and our respect for contribution. And I turn the microphone over to our Vice President, Ms. Mona Hoyt, to do her vote of thanks.
Invited guests, on behalf of the Finance Building Cooperative Society, this, can you adjust this?
Come, Louis. You know about your mic.
Yeah.
It's like this, huh?
Talk.
Right.
Talk to us. Right, talk in the mic. Talk now.
On behalf of the Finance Building Cooperative Society, I wish to move a vote of thanks here to all our invited guests. Without your presence here, our function would not have been the success it is this evening. I also wish to extend a vote of thanks to our caterers, whose delicious food had everybody very excited and pleased. I also wish to extend a vote of thanks to Mr. Gary Awai, who has decorated the place for us so nicely, to our entertainers and our DJ for providing the music and the entertainment, to Mr. Monsigi for videotaping this event, to Mr. Maynard, the building superintendent and his team, and to the staff of the MTS, also to the media for their coverage. And last but not least, I would like to thank all the members of the board and the staff of the cafeteria for their loyal and devoted service during the course of the year. Without such a service, our success could not have been achieved. I wish to say thanks again, and I hope for your continued support, which would ascertain that we'll continue to be successful in the future. Before I close, I wish to say that the function is not over, because for those of you who may wish to dance, dancing will begin as soon as this section has been completed. Thank you very much.